In today's case, we will be talking about the tragic story of Cherish Winkle. Cherish, who was born on December 24, 2004, was said to be the best Christmas gift to her mother. Cherish attended 2nd grade in Chaffee Trail Elementary School and loved to attend Paxson Revival Center Church. She loved to spend many hours drawing beautiful pictures that she shared with her mother and others. Cherish also loved to play school with her 2 sisters. She would be the teacher reading and guiding them. Her smile will be missed dearly, and well as her great ability to tell jokes. Cherish had recently accomplished a big task of any child's dreams, learning to ride a bicycle without training wheels, which placed a huge grin on her face. Cherish would always tell her mother that she wanted to be just like her when she grew up. She would dress up in her mother's clothes and watch movies together. Until the tragic day of June the 21st, 2013, the day they met 56-year-old career predator, Donald James Smith. On this day, Cherish Winkle, her mother, and her 2 sisters went to a neighborhood Dollar General store. There they encountered Donald James Smith, a convicted predator who had been listed on the Public Sex Offender Registry since 1993. He had been released from prison on a child abuse charge just 21 days prior to that fateful day. Smith saw that Rain Winkle was having difficulty paying for her children's clothes. He offered to buy them clothes at a nearby Walmart using a gift card that he and his wife never used. He assured Rain Winkle that his wife would meet them at the store. Rain Winkle later testified that she was initially skeptical of Smith's offer, but ultimately gave in, because he said he had a wife, and her children were in desperate need of clothes she could not afford. By 10 p.m., Smith's wife, who didn't exist, still hadn't arrived, and Rain Winkle's children were all hungry for dinner. Smith offered to buy them all a meal at the McDonald's next door while Winkle waited, as he took Cherish with him. It was the last time anyone saw her alive. Around 11 p.m., Rain Winkle realized that neither Donald James Smith nor Cherish Winkle had returned. She borrowed a Walmart employee's cell phone and called the police to report a kidnapping. This was her frantic explanation to authorities.
He wanted her to buy these really tall shoes that were women's shoes, and I told him no. I said they're too high for her. I wouldn't even wear shoes that high. Maybe he was grooming her. I hope to God he doesn't kill her, and I hope to God he doesn't rape her.
6 hours after Rain Winkle made the harrowing 911 call, police put out an Amber Alert for Cherish Winkle. The Amber Alert reached Smith's roommate, a man only identified as Charlie, who called the police to provide them with any information. Around 9 a.m. the next day, an officer noticed Smith's van off Interstate 95. Officers were then able to apprehend Smith near Interstate 10, where he was promptly arrested. At the same time, a tipster called in to report spotting Smith's van near the neighborhood Highland Baptist Church, and it was in the creek behind that church where police made a traumatizing discovery. Cherish Winkle was found in the creek still wearing the same dress she was in the night before. Her mutilated body was filled with contusions and bites, hemorrhaging, and busted blood vessels around her neck where she had been strangled to death. An autopsy showed that she'd been raped prior to her murder, suffered blunt force trauma to the back of her head, and was strangled with what appeared to be a T-shirt with such force that she began bleeding from her eyes, gums, and nose. Donald Smith faces justice for Cherish Winkle's murder. In what would prove to be one of the most high-profile cases of the greater Jacksonville area in recent memory, Smith was ultimately charged with the first-degree murder, kidnapping, and the rape of Cherish Winkle. The trial, which didn't take place until 2018, was traumatizing for all involved. While presenting evidence so traumatizing, the chief medical examiner had to take a break and the jury broke down into tears. The doctor who performed the autopsy described how Winkle's anatomy had been distorted by the force with which Smith had raped her. She added that it would have taken the 8-year-old 5 minutes to die while being strangled. After her testimony, she too requested to be excused from the courtroom for a moment. Cherish did not die quickly, and she did not die easily. In fact, hers was a brutal and tortured death, the state attorney said. A second day into the trial, secret jailhouse recordings of Smith emerged. In the recordings, Smith can be heard talking to inmates about a group of 12 and 13-year-old girls that visited the jail. "That's right up my alley, right there, that's my target area," he said. "I'd like to run into her at Walmart." Then he added that Cherish had a butt on her. She had a lot for a white girl. Further recordings revealed how Smith intended to use an insanity defense at his trial. In a phone conversation with his mother, Smith can be heard asking her for a copy of the DSM-IV, a guide to mental disorders, so that he could practice acting mentally ill in court. He added that he hoped to be sentenced to death rather than life in prison because he was afraid his fellow inmates would kill him. Smith got what he wanted. It only took the jury 15 minutes to find Smith guilty, but in Florida, all cases involving first-degree murder are given an appeal. As such, Smith reappeared in court in 2020, fully planning to fight his death sentence. And as for Periwinkle's parents, her father Billy Gero wants closure in the matter, while her mother, who has been struggling with her child's loss, has been calling for Smith's execution. Rain Periwinkle's other two daughters were removed from her custody shortly after Cherish was murdered. Periwinkle said in 2017 that she was unable to keep a steady job, as people blamed her for her daughter's brutal death, and because she was grieving. Her other two daughters were adopted by their auntie in Australia that same year. Rain Periwinkle voiced, "I wish they would just feel for one day what they've done to me," she said to the officials in charge of her other two children. "It's not all about myself. Cherish is the biggest victim in this. She is the biggest victim." Cherish Lily Periwinkle, born the 24th of December 2004, age 8, went to be with her Lord and Savior on June 22, 2013 in Jacksonville, Florida.